Hi guys, welcome back. Nice seeing you again. My name is Mihai. I'm the head of an international negotiation consultancy based in Germany called Isman and Partners, or short IMP. And today we'll talk about a very nice best practice case where you can see how to use negotiation consultancy in very different areas and very different economic fields. The case is called "Do You Trust Him? I Used to." It's about negotiations between management of a corporation and unions of employees to assure that the company gets out of financial troubles and is able to focus on the future of the company. So let's take a look together at the stakeholder map. There have been 5 parties involved in the whole negotiation. So first was the management, the HR board member, the CHRO was a new person. We knew each other, and she called me and said, "Look, we need to prepare this negotiation thoroughly to assure that we make a deal without damaging the relationship to the unions, without having a bad reputation as a bad employer." The second group was, of course, the unions and the representative of the unions. They also had the third party was a consultant for the union party. Then we had the holding companies. So the German company belonged to a US American holding company. They had also particular interests. And last but not least, the fifth party consists in company lawyers from our client's company. So when we took over, the situation was as follows. The company had 10 production sites all over the country. 3 of them have been closed in the past 3 years. And the closing was poorly managed. So there have been a lot of hard emotions, hard feelings between employers and management, between unions and management. And the CHRO wanted to assure that the next negotiations on loans, on tariffs, on production services are that way that the company is not putting in danger the relationships anymore to their stakeholders. So they wanted a quick result. They wanted a neutral party to facilitate the whole process in order to make sure that every party involved is able to air their concerns. Then they wanted someone who helps them putting together a nice package so that every party involved is at the end buying on this solution. And the third aspect was they wanted a negotiation process, a negotiation strategy that makes sure that emotions have a certain place there, but then the whole process is going to a more constructive, future oriented way of dealing with each other. So the first step when we took over was defining the negotiation goals with our client, talking about alternatives if they are not able to reach a deal, and collecting all topics that need to be discussed in the whole negotiation process. Then we need to gather some information from the US American holding to say, look, how big is our negotiation playground? Where can we make concessions? Where do you think that's not possible to reach an agreement? After that, we had to take care that we are dealing in a safe law environment so that we're not breaking any country laws, that we are not proposing any topics or solutions that are in contradiction to the existing working laws in Germany. Shortly after that, we designed the negotiation team. So we took a look at which people need to be involved, who is the lead negotiator, who is the captain, who is the decision maker, which experts do we need in certain phases of the negotiation. And then we created a stakeholder map. So we took a look at the 4 other negotiation parties to map their interests, to try to learn more about what may be important for them and where can we expect concessions or not. Having this in mind, we started drafting the first negotiation strategy and we started designing a negotiation process that is integrative, a negotiation process that makes it easy to integrate all negotiation parties and their concerns. And then we discussed with all four other parties, we negotiated the process. So we started talking about how do we want to deal with each other in the coming weeks. The last step in the beginning was the mediation of the negotiation rules. Having a lot of people at the table makes it very valuable to talk about how do we want to negotiate, what kind of rules do we need when we interact with each other at the table and off the table. So it's always very helpful and easy to talk about these topics before the process really starts, before we really sit at the table, because then you can anticipate some barriers and you already know how to solve them before they occur. And the whole negotiation was a success. It took a long time to reach an agreement. There have been a lot of hard emotions that we need to handle them, that we need to work with them, but we also gained a lot of information from dealing with these emotions. So as I previously said, there was a huge concern from the CHRO that the relationships with the employees and with the unions are stable or are not damaged, at least. So we managed to strengthen these relationships after the whole negotiation process, even though it was tough at times. So they gained more trust in each other, and this trust led to saving the 7 remaining production sites. And they found a very nice agreement, a very sustainable agreement for the future. So what was for me the most fun part in this negotiation? It was the whole designing phase of the process. It was to see how everything that we planned worked out in reality. And what I really enjoyed was the whole mediation approach that we brought into the process, so that we really had time to talk about the relationship. We really had time to talk about the past topics that went wrong, and we've been able to design it that way that everyone can air his or her concerns in order to create a very nice and stable result. So it was pretty fun. As you can see, negotiation skills are crucial also in human resources, in dealing with employees, in dealing with unions or works councils. And it's worth the time, it's worth the investment, because you gain a lot of stronger relationships with each other, and suddenly both sides are working on the same topics and on the same direction again. I hope you enjoyed this example. There are many more to come. If you liked it, feel free to subscribe to the channel. If you have questions in regards of this example, feel free to write us an email. Well, that's it for today. Thanks for joining, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next time.